back, everyone. That was Raising Stanley by Kim Kilpatrick. Kim, I know you're just standing in the wings, in our stage wings. Love to invite you to come forward and we'll start a little Q&A with Kim. And this is an opportunity for anybody in our lovely audience tonight to ask questions or register comments that they'd like Kim to know about their experience tonight. I have a feeling there'll be quite a few of them, so I'm going to do my best to moderate those as easy as possible. So Kim, welcome back. I know we already have a hand, but I'm going to ask a first question of you. I just want to see if I can find you on my...
I'm just trying.
I hear you.
Am I mute? Okay, I'm unmuted. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Awesome. First off, congratulations. What a sweet story. And as a person who, I'm a cane user, I'm not a guide dog user, although many of my friends have guide dogs and I've heard many guide dog training stories. But what a sweet combination of the love, the loss, the highlights, the challenges. And I guess what I'd love to know now is how you and your guide dog are doing now.
Well, Tulia is 12 and almost 12 and a half, and she's still here, and she's actually loves COVID because I'm here all the time. And I take her for walks. She's retired, but I take her for walks with my cane. And it's just really nice to have her here because the guide dog journey was, because of COVID, kind of put on hold. The borders are closed, which means, they can't get dogs to me. I can't get over there. They were going to bring me a dog, I think last April or May, and do home training. And they even, I think, had a couple picked out, and then that didn't happen. So it is emotional. Yeah. Like, it's emotional hearing the show, and it's emotional thinking about the different journeys and trying to think, like, what's going to happen next and when is it going to happen? And and it's interesting to hear it instead of being in it. It's kind of interesting, but I'm really proud of it. We're all proud of it. And I just want to acknowledge that Jane is here, Jane Osborne, and she was our stage manager in Toronto. So she was the one up in the booth pushing the buttons and making sure that things were coordinated, and was my roommate, did all that stuff, the whole week we were there. And she then raised a puppy. I don't know if it's still with her, probably is because of COVID, but she's since raised a puppy too. So look at that, we get all these connections. So she's here. And again, thank you to everyone who is here who had a hand either in the show, or my two puppy raisers who had a hand in Gia and Tulia. And everybody, that's so nice, and so interesting to have them here because they know these dogs. They know these dogs too. So and it's hard to perform the show. It was really hard to do it in Winnipeg, which was the last time we did it live, and I figured that would be the last time Tulia would be on stage with me. So I'd be almost crying on stage at the end, especially the part about traveling through the world and the guide dogs, and it's just and it's interesting. The things that made me cry at first were always the thing about Gwenny and dying. But what makes me cry now is the part about Gia and the stairs. Like I don't know, for some reason that gets me more. Not to say I don't miss. So it's just interesting how these things creep up on you. You still have to perform it, and you still have to be a professional. But when it's your life, it's also emotional. So it's hard to kind of do that. So anyway, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, I also think that that's part of the beauty in doing a show like this, which is that you can tap into some of that as you need to pull from it, in your tool belt. Okay, we've got some hands, Kim. So I'm going to say, we'll go Heather, then we'll go Richard Marion, and then we'll go Tilo and Yuko. So Heather, why don't you unmute and ask your question or share your comments with Kim?
Okay. I have had the honor of being in guide dog school with Kim when she got Gia, who we refer to as Gia Pet. One of the things I can tell you is her dogs are not the only sneaky ones. She taught me how to go into the kitchen and at 2 o'clock in the morning and pop popcorn for everyone in the dorm while the supervisor was fast asleep in their room. So she has a great love of fun. And Kim, it was very powerful to listen to this finally. And I love you very much after 9/11, going back to the first guide dog class after that. And I am so grateful you are still in my life and in all of our lives. So thank you. And thank you. What a great handler you were of Gia Pet.
Thank you. Thank you. And it was a pleasure to be in class with you. And I didn't say this in the show, but yes, we went to class 3 weeks after 9/11. And in fact, I got my tickets in the mailbox on 9/11 to go to the US. And I said, I'm not going. And I thought, and then my family and friends said, yes, you are. Like, you can't put your life on hold for 9, you know what I mean? But it was a weird time to go to class. And that was a hard class, as you know, because that was the class after Margaret, who was such a, who shook my confidence. So it was great to have Heather and classmates around for that experience. And and the trainers and people to really understand the grieving that you have to do, but you also have to move on at the same time and try to be fair to the next dog at the same time. So thank you, Heather. And you were always a great support and a lot of fun to have in class too.
And it was also when the President Bush said the way to grieve is to go shopping. So we spent a lot of money in shopping malls as we were touring around with our guide dogs. It was quite fun. So thank you.
So someone said they think they hear Tulia snoring in the video. Could that be? Yes, indeed. That was her snoring up to beat the band there.
Okay, we'll go to Richard next. Richard.
Hey, Kim, great presentation, great story, and lots of sad and very funny points in it as well. And I particularly liked the story about Gwenny shoplifting because it reminded me of my last dogs and his adventures shoplifting when we went on our Panama Canal cruise, and he decided to shoplift in the gift shop at on the cruise ship. I didn't even know he picked anything up because he was one of these dogs that could pick things up and you not know until the clerk's saying to Bill and I, sir, excuse me, sir, your dog's got a ship in his mouth. And he had foam rubber stress toys, and that's what he wants to bring back to our cabin from.
The funny part about Gwenny and that toy was the loudest, most obnoxious squeaky toy that I ever heard. And she never squeaked it once for that whole walk home. She only squeaked it once we got inside. So I don't know how she kept it quiet.
Once she knew that it wasn't going to be taken away, right? Like, oh, we got to take that back.
Well, I called the store in a panic and I said, do you want me to come back with it? I was so worried. And they said, no. And they laughed. They thought it was funny.
And when I first met Gia, that's when we would all go to her, Gia, and she'd turn her tail in circles every time we heard it.
Her puppy raisers here, and they did that from a puppy. So she loved that. She loved that song. She was a great dog, Miss Gia.
Great memories. Thanks, Richard, for sharing. Yeah. We'll go Tilo and Yuko, then we've got Megan, and then we've got Louise. So go ahead, Tilo and Yuko.
Hello, this is Tilo. It was a great presentation. I enjoyed it. I'm a guide dog user. I'm on my second guide dog, and my first guide dog, he didn't do anything like stealing or anything, but he did a few things, like at a theater when I was at a presentation, and when somebody was sitting in it near the end, he'd get up and start licking somebody's ear. Of course, they yelled. But one of the biggest things he'd done that was a real shock at the end when I retired him, his name was Burbank. I had told the owner that the guide dog school told me not to let him loose around a large body of water. And they took him to the park across from Stanley Park. And I guess her husband was alone with the dog and thought, okay, he likes swimming, and he let him loose, and he didn't come back, and they had to get the Coast Guard to go get him, and he was in the newspaper, and he tried to run away from the Coast Guard, swim away.
Oh my gosh.
And then 2 days later, I got a phone call from the guide dog school saying, is that our dog, our Burbank? And I had to say yes. So
Yeah.
they do have a personality. And I also
What?
had to watch my guide dog to stay away from water fountains. When I was first, 2 days after I was working with him at the guide dog school, he pulled me into a water fountain.
He was a water dog. Well, it's
Very
interesting
much.
because Gia loved to swim, and so did Gwenny. Tulia cannot stand it. Like, so if you bring her to water, last summer we were at the cottage and it was really hot, and she'll get in if you make her, but she has a look on her face the whole time of, oh my God, this is terrible. I just hate it. Like, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to get dirty. Like, no, 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 no. So
You're messing up my
but-
fur.
yeah,
I-
just get me
my-
out of here.
My new guide dog, Adric, when it's raining really hard and there's big puddles around, he either walk around it, or if we have to cross the street and there's a big puddle, he'll jump over it.
Oh my goodness.
But
That
when
goes to
he's-
show
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons we created the show, is to show people that guide dogs are not robots. They are not, and they're all different. So you get
Oh no.
I've had 4, and I don't know, the next one will be different again. So like,
Mhm.
you know, and the raisers can tell you that they're all the Karen raised 3, and the last one she raised after Stanley was the total opposite of him. And you know,
That's what-
yeah.
That's
so
what this new guide dog, Adric, he's totally almost the opposite of my other guide dog.
yeah.
But they both guide quite well.
Yeah, so I mean, and the matching process, and that's the other part I think that we want the public to know, is when I joked about Amazon, I mean, the matching process is quite complex, right? They try to find you the right
Yeah.
dog based on your pace, your height, your walking speed, your lifestyle, your
Yeah.
personality, their personality. You know, it's a complicated thing to do, and they get it right almost all the time. It amazes me how well they
Yeah.
do with the
When
matching. So
when I first got my first guide dog, and I went to the border to catch the plane, the officer told me, he says, how long are you going to be there? And I told him it was like 4 weeks, I think, at that time. And he says, does it take that long to pick up a guide dog? I says, no, it takes that long to train with one for the first time.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Google, stop.
exactly.
Yeah, so I didn't really
Yeah.
like his
Well,
comment.
people
but
don't know, like people don't
No.
understand. They don't know. And I think they really don't, like, they don't understand training, and they don't understand what puppy raisers do, and what the trainers do, and all the differences. So yeah, no, it's true.
I thought I knew
Thanks.
about dogs before I got the guide dog, but when I got the guide dog, I realized I knew nothing about guide dog or any type of guide, any
Yeah.
dog, or the behavior or anything like this. So it's a real eye opener for the guide
Yeah.
dogs. So they're really
Absolutely.
professionals. So I'll let somebody
Absolutely.
else talk now.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kilo. I love the
You're welcome.
stories. We'll go to Megan, and then it's Louise, and it's Marilyn. Let Megan unmute herself. It's interesting to me, while we're waiting for Megan to unmute herself, that some dogs have this love of water and some dogs don't, because I always just consider dogs to be water
Hey.
lovers. Oh,
Yeah,
we got Megan. All right. Go ahead, Megan.
Okay. So how is Tulia doing now?
She's good. I mean, she's 12 and a half almost, so she's slowing down a bit, but she's healthy, and she's happy, and you know, she's not working, like she's not working,
Okay.
and she has no desire to be
Alright,
working.
have you,
She showed me in no uncertain terms that, so,
yeah.
but yeah, but she's good.
Flip to back end, leave call button.
Thanks, Megan, for your question.
You're welcome.
We're gonna go to Louise.
Hello, Kim.
Hello, Miss Louise.
I can honestly say you actually put something into guide dog lifestyle I've tried to explain or share with others over the years. Each dog's personality difference. I mean, I've had 5. My first one loved water. It was dangerous with her with water. In fact, she hated puddles. My second one loved tennis balls. He thought in harness they were his best friend, even in the house, to chew them if they were left available. My third one was my one who just decided he'd lay around and be and each and it works for each, all different, all 5. I mean, you said it in words, what I feel at times, and I'm sorry, voiceover spoke to my ear.
No, it's okay.
I can say, when you shared, I mean, that in that journey, you'll start again. It's going to come someday soon. And
we can hope.
We can hope. I mean,
I just want my little puppy raisers. What's the matter with you, Debbie and Karen? Come and bring me a dog. Come on. Go get me a dog. What's the matter with you?
Kim's putting in custom orders now.
Yeah. Just go to campus and take one and give it to me. That's all I want. Yeah.
I think the best part of it is the match, is how they match us with these dogs. I mean, and each time is so unique. I mean, I remember being in a hotel and Kiara just being a perfect little angel, but that's not all your dogs, it's just moments of your lives, and Tulia sitting up on the stage, when you're saying she's laying on her bed, just being, and she doesn't come until the end of the show.
Nope.
I mean,
but she was in a major sleep. You guys could probably hear her snoring because she was snoring a lot. She would get into it. She was so comfortable on that bed that she would just be there and crash out.
I could say my not Kiara, Hawk, the one before. If you told him to stay, he could stay and stay for hours. If you forgot to release him, he would. It's every dog has a personality. And
Absolutely.
I just thank you for sharing in a way that it's unique, because how can I explain it? That journey of dog day, many no lunch is eaten or little, that moment of wondering what that dog's going to be. Is that dog going to love you? Are they going to bond with you?
And vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, I went through my first one. You had the same fierce feeling with your first, I did, but after that first route, it was like we bonded. So it's, those moments happen. I mean, it's a journey. It's a story, each one, and you're going to get another one, and same as I will.
I know.
I'm applied.
I know I'm going to get one, but yeah. And I guess this one will be like major Christmas Day. I was thinking that dog day, Christmas Day. It's like, God, if I've waited this long, like it's just going to be, it better be good, because there's going to be high expectations on it. Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to say, I'm sending you virtual hugs for
you
this
too.
time.
Thank you so much.
And thanks
for sharing your stories, Louise.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we've got Marilyn, then we've got Betty, and then we've got Debbie.
Yeah, she's my puppy raiser. We got
and then we've got Michelle. So we've got quite a lineup here, folks. I'll ask you to keep your questions and your conversation short, if at all possible. But Marilyn, let's open the floor for you.
Thank you, Kim. And Amy and Donna, it was just great. Kim, I loved all your stories. I have to admit, I was wiping away tears of all the emotions for the whole time. And I think that it's your choices of words and phrases just is amazing. You're such a brilliant storyteller. And I would like to see this story shared with anyone who is considering changing to the guide dog lifestyle, because it really captures all the parts which are joyful, and the parts that are hard and the parts that are scary. So thank you for this wonderful gift. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you, Marilyn. I know you've had dogs since way before me, so that means a lot to coming from you. You had many, many dogs.
Well, Ken and I were sitting here and Ken says, this is just like us. You know, it's the same experience.
Yeah,
so we loved it. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you so much, Marilyn.
Thanks, Marilyn, for sharing. Betty, you're up, my friend. Let you unmute yourself.
Hi there. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
I just wanted to say that I'm not the kind of person that normally cries very much. And I had a lot of tears tonight, and it was wonderful. They weren't all sad tears either. There were some happy tears, and you just captured it so well. Marilyn really stole my thunder, because that's what I was going to say. I got my first dog in 1975, and I was even a little bit afraid of dogs at the time, and I kind of wondered, how on earth is this going to work? And you captured the feelings, and told so many wonderful stories, of course, that I could really relate to. So thank you for this wonderful production. And I really enjoyed the interludes with the paintings and the description of the puppy raiser. I thought it really added a lot. You didn't, learn a lot about what the puppy did in the show, but it sort of made wonderful transitions. And I guess that was probably what was intended, but it was really lovely. And thank you so much. I listened to Flying in the Dark a couple of weeks ago too, and that was amazing.
Thank you, Betty, so much. And
you're welcome.
You're right that we had to pick the stories that kind of matched with the pictures. And Marilyn, to your point, we had script that was way, way, way too long, and we cut. And then even after our first run, it was too long. So we had to cut some more. So we had to cut out some things that we really liked, but we tried to make it as concise as possible with still expressing what we needed to say, and to match the pictures with the stories to some degree, to find stories that fitted with the pictures, or pictures that fit with the stories.
The bringing together of all of the elements is an art, like it's an art form all on its own.
It was a tricky thing for sure, but it was really worthwhile once we got it. It's like doing a jigsaw, right? For a while, the pieces are sort of hovering, but they're not there, and it takes a lot of people to put their heads together and work really hard and craft the script, and then learn the script, and then revise the script, and all of that. So yes, definitely.
The ending was my very favorite part, where you had a special word for each of your dogs.
Oh yeah, that makes me cry now. It's really hard to do that. I was recording it because it wasn't in the recording, because they cut it out by mistake. And so Bronwyn said, you need to record this again. I said, but I'm crying. I have to do it about 10 times before I send it over, because I just can't. So yeah, I love that too.
I missed Gwenny's word.
Can you tell me Gwenny's word? Just a minute. Shayna's sense of adventure. Shayna's sense of adventure. Gwenny's take charge attitude. That was her. Gwenny's take charge attitude.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betty. Michelle, and then Tammy. Oh, I'm sorry.
We got to hear from Debbie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Debbie. I skipped over you by accident. My apologies. So it's Debbie, and then Michelle, and then Tammy.
She raised a girl.
Yeah.
This is Debbie. I raised Gia, and thank you, Kim, for all those wonderful memories. Just one more story about Gia. Yeah, she was raised in Tucson, Arizona, and she hated the heat. I mean, we would come out of the store or a building, and she would just balk. So we were very happy that she went to Oregon to train and Ottawa to work. Because
Debbie said, when Debbie met me, she said, oh, thank God she's going to Canada, because she really did hate the heat. And she always did hate it. Like in the summer, she would try to take you into air conditioned spaces, and she just did not like it. So
that like my kind of dog.
That was one of the first things Debbie said was, oh my goodness, I'm so glad she's going to Canada.
Yeah, I think she really enjoyed it. But Kim,
how many dogs have how many dogs have you raised now, Debbie? Because you're still at it.
Well, I think I'm at 27 and maybe 28. She was number
Wow.
4. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
number 4. Number 27 and 28 are 2 male golden retrievers. They're 18 months old now, and they're snoozing on the floor, listening to this as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you
Oh,
so much,
thanks
Kim.
so much,
Great
Debbie,
presentation.
for all you do and everything, all you guys do, and you and Scott.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for joining us, Debbie. I love those stories. Michelle,
Thanks.
I think I'm following this right. Michelle and then Tammy. Go ahead, Michelle.
So because it seems like this seems to be Kim's fan club, I actually know Kim because I met her when I was doing blind curling in Ottawa. I think Tulia was what, 4 and
She
Jimmy
was
was
little.
4.
Yeah, she was little because
really
they were
young,
playing.
yeah.
They were playing together.
Yeah, and now Jimmy's 15, by the by.
Oh, that's
Wow.
good.
Yeah, he's 15 and living out his retirement life for the last 5 years in California.
Nice.
So I have done in-home training with my current dog, not because I wanted to, but because of the fires in California in 2018. I don't know if you'd mentioned it here, but I know you'd mentioned it somewhere else that you wanted to do in-home training this
I
go
am
around.
supposedly doing it I was supposed to get in-home training last spring, but I
Right.
think I'm still scheduled for that whenever that happens.
So what do what do you like about in-home training versus going to class?
Well, one of the reasons they okayed me for in-home training is because I do have rheumatoid arthritis. So there are times like they thought it would be easier for me to train in home. But I don't know because I've never had it, but I would imagine like just learning your roots right away and being in your home right away. And that way I could introduce the dog to Tulia right away and the trainer could see, yeah, this is working okay or it isn't. Because if there was a chance, I doubt this would happen, but if they didn't get along or if Tulia like really hated it, I would have to find a place for her. So, because it's a working dog relationship, but Tulia is so laid back that I don't anticipate anything, but yeah, so I don't know, Michelle, because I haven't had it. It'll be interesting to see. I hear that they bond faster with you because you're bringing the dog to a totally new environment and you know it better than them, but I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see when that happens.
Do you have any problem areas in your home? That's what I quite enjoyed about my thrown together in-home training was the fact that we came home literally just before the snow in November.
Yeah,
and,
we have a new LRT, which like it would be good to be doing that new LRT. Well, it's not new anymore, but you know what I mean, like an LRT that's different. So like that would be good. Also, certain intersections, finding. There aren't like hugely problematic places, but I'm assuming it'll be good to have the trainer bring the dog to you and work through those things that and when they leave, the dog's already in the routine, the dog already it's like, oh, I already know how to do this. So
and Kim, when they come and do training with you in your home or your hometown, how long does that training go for? Because it sounds like when you go away, it could be anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's like 10 days or something, because I don't know because I haven't had it. I think they said it was going to be about 10 days or so, like 2 weeks, sort of, kind of like that. But I don't know. I'll let you guys know once it happens.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I've never had that before.
Sounds like you'll have to have a clubhouse room and update us on your next adventure. I'm gonna acknowledge Tammy's hand, and Tammy can unmute herself and ask her question.
Hello. Hi.
Tammy's known all my dogs, I think.
I've known all Kim's dogs, and I definitely have great memories of Gwenny, especially when you were even when you were in North Vancouver. I wasn't out here at the time, but I just recognized a lot of when you were talking about walking with Gwenny, I kind of recognized those places and definitely knew all your dogs.
Yeah.
And I really think, I guess, sort of what others have said, I'm kind of maybe repeating a little bit, but I think you really did capture the guide dog experience that we go through. And I know that everyone is different, so it's going to be a little bit of a variation, but I think in general, it's that whole experience of, developing a partnership, a bond, and then maybe losing that bond, whether it's through retirement or, passing away or whatever. And it's just that whole thing. So it was very relatable, and I've seen your show a couple of years ago in Victoria, but it's almost like new hearing it again. So
yeah, it was
it
interesting
was-
for me to hear it
Yeah.
as opposed to perform it, because I was a bit picky. I'd go, oh, I missed that. Oh, I wasn't there.
Yeah,
But then I
yeah.
just kind of got into it instead and thought, I want to think
Mhm.
about it like the emotions, or like
Yeah.
what does this give to people? Like, don't think about it
Yeah.
in a critical way
But
about your
it's-
voice or your,
the
whatever else.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this show for me, anyway, I can speak for myself, is that it's so neat when you can actually relate to and sort of go, yeah, I know what she's talking about, because when you go to shows and you hear about people's lives, you don't normally relate to them because you don't know the people. Like, you can relate in a very different way, maybe like, oh yeah, there's some similarities, but you can't relate because you don't.
Tammy,
You don't.
you were just speaking the language of why it's so important to have
Yeah.
representation in
Yeah.
art, right?
Yeah,
On television,
exactly.
on stages, in movies. When you don't
Yeah.
see yourself and your experiences reflected, it somehow is damaging
It
to
was
the
really
human soul,
it was
right?
great, really
And I
refreshing
think
to have that.
I think
Yeah.
it's really important too to tell all the facets. So I think that's what you were
Yeah.
saying too, Tammy, is like the good,
Yeah.
the bad, the funny, the
ugly,
really embarrassing, the kind of
Yeah. All these things
the
a
guide
lot of
dog
us
who
can
was a
relate
bit of a
to.
dud, like all of these things are part of it,
Yeah.
like they're part of it. And so we tried to be as honest as we could and try to get the scope of
Yeah.
experience, because that is what it is, right? Like, it's not all
Yeah.
one thing.
So I think you're
Yeah.
right, Amy. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, the voiceover was on and I was losing my train of thought for a second there, but yeah,
Super
like I think
important though, right?
it's just so cool, like, to actually be in a show and go, wow, like, I know this person and I know, like, I was there at many points, and
Yeah.
it's just such a cool thing. I don't know.
And I
I
think
can't even
having Tulia on stage, so like, that was important to me that she was there. And if
That's
during one
great.
of the shows, like we said, we had the Tulia chair for a while, where someone would sit there that could intervene if she jumped up, but if something happened, I don't know what happened. So someone cited, because I don't remember each show, but the audience was really laughing. So I think Tulia was being really hammy and rolling over and stuff when I was.
Oh, yeah.
So the part where I talk about Tulia is the next time I sit down on the stool. So I'm really close to her. I'm close to her bed and I'm sitting like, inches from her. And
Mhm.
when I said she's really hammy, I think she was rolling around and, like, I don't know, someone cited can tell us what she did, but she would
Yeah.
like, once I was on the stool near her to talk about her, she'd roll over and give me her paw and like wag her tail, and it's like, pat my belly,
You
and
just wanted a
whatever.
little attention.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
on her level now, and so it's like, yeah, like, oh, yeah, I forgot about me. I've been here this whole time. So I think it's really important to have that too, and have the cane on stage. And we marked off the stage. So Amy and I were talking before this show about blind people on stage, and she was telling me sort of a bad story about people arranging blind actors and putting them in places and not letting them move. And part of it was marking the stage. There was tape and there was a carpet to show the middle. The chairs were, we taped off the stage, like we put the chairs exactly the same number of feet apart. We put them, there were stools on either side with water on, and there was kibbles taped underneath. So we set everything up always the same way.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and so we could move around the stage. And if Tulia had gotten up, we would have had to improvise, right? Like, we would have said, oh,
Mhm.
there she is, like, trying to get into the action. But it's really important that she was there, and that the cane was there, and that the stage was marked, that everything was, that you were living your existence the way you normally would do it, right? That
Mhm.
she had to be on stage with me. But there was a chance she might not have been. So at Winnipeg, the summer before Winnipeg, which was, we did in September 2019, Tulia had major surgery. She had a tumor on her leg and she was in ICU and we almost lost her a couple times. And I was writing to them and saying, and I said to our director, Bronwyn, like, what if we go and there's no dog? And we said, well, we'll have to do it. I mean, do we put an empty bed on stage or do we just do it? I don't know, but we would have figured something out. As it turned out, she was well enough to go. She wasn't really working anymore, but we put her harness on like to go on the plane and stuff. And she, you know, she was there and she didn't want to walk too far and do too much, but she was on stage and she was there. But that was a possibility. And then we were trying to think, what would we do if she couldn't come with me?
Yeah.
You know, and what will we do if we perform this show before I get my next dog? Well, I don't know. We'll have to think about it, right?
Well, and that's my question for you, Kim, is what is next for this show? Any thoughts or plans about what you want to do next with it?
So this is hot off the press, but we just got a chunk of money from Canada Council to do some stuff, which I think VocalEye will be involved in, with training audio describers here and doing some blindness stuff. But one of the things we put in was to do a kind of a festival or a blindness, I don't know, sort of festival. And one of it was to perform this show again, live streamed. So perform it and have people like videotape it in the theater where we first did it and then have another show like Tulia or COVID, blindness and COVID or Tulia to whatever. So create another work to be like a sequel of sorts. Although I didn't want this kind of sequel particularly, but you know, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then once we can move again, I think we do try to send it to festivals and to places where we could perform it, because it is fun having that live interaction. And it's, you know, it's great to have audiences there with puppy raisers and guide dog handlers and sighted people and deaf people and whoever else is there. So we want to tour it further, like we want to do more, but we can't, you know, do much right now. But we are thinking about how we can record it and live stream it and have an actual, you know, performance of it.
And that'll be a whole different art form to explore, because now you're creating something purposely for the digital environment.
Yeah.
Which is very different than creating something for stage and then, you know, it happens by happenstance makes it in the virtual environment. So that's exciting, Kim. I know you're going to keep us posted.
Oh yeah, definitely. We just found out this week we got this money. So we haven't met to really brainstorm all of it, but yeah, we're working on it.
Well, congratulations. That's super exciting stuff. You know, our time has just flown by. There were so many people that want to congratulate you.
I drank hot chocolate and now I'm all wired now.
Now you're all wired.
What time is it now? It's like, it's like 11:50 something.
It's almost midnight where you are. Yeah, almost midnight.
Right.
So what I'll do before I wish you a lovely evening is gather up a little bit of that energy and we'll do our draw. So folks folks know before we let Kim go that we'll do our evening raffle, and anybody who identifies with sight loss, doesn't matter where you live, will be entered in the draw. And then once we know what geographical area you are in, we will come up with a prize that is around the $25 value and get it into your hands. So that's the plan, folks. I'm going to call Sarah forward because she's got all the eligible names. You must still be on the call though to win. So let's welcome Sarah to the space. And I don't know, Kim, what are you going to shout out? You could shout out stop. That's kind of boring, but if you want to, or you could shout out Tulia, or I don't know. What do you want to?
Well, Tulia's in bed. Well, no, I can say Tulia because she's probably sound asleep. So I'll say Tulia when.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Sarah, my friend, you're up.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amy. So Kim, I will just shuffle everything up, and whenever you're ready, please shout Tulia.
Tulia.
Ooh, we have the lucky winner is, and Hannah just left.
We're gonna have to pull another name.
Okay, should I do it again?
You'll do it again. Let's hope this doesn't happen over and over and over again.
Tulia.
We got Betty Noble.
Betty, are you still on the call with us tonight? Trying to go through my list here quickly to see if I can find.
Yes, I'm here.
Betty's here. Wonderful, Betty. Wonderful. Well,
Thank you so much. Way
you
to go,
won the
Kim.
raffle, and
There you go.
we'll connect with you, by email or whatnot to get you your raffle prize. So you can
Awesome.
stay tuned
Thank
for that.
you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Betty.
Congratulations, Betty.
Yeah,
Thank you, though.
congratulations. I hope you get a good prize.
They're all
Oh, I'm
good prizes.
sure
It's just
I
fun to
will.
win.
Oh yeah, they're all great prizes.
What do they give you?
Wasn't
kinds of different stuff.
the old joke was it's just lovely to be nominated.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to
Mhm.
win something.
So it's Easter. It might be Purdy's or something, you just never
Ooh,
know.
Purdy's.
I don't know
That'd
what
be
it is.
nice.
I don't know.
Maybe a chocolate bunny.
Bunny.
Could be Braille chocolate. Don't they have Braille chocolate molds?
Oh, yes, they
They do
do.
have them somewhere.
Actually,
yeah.
yes. Nat Armani used to have those
They have
at his
chocolate bars
family
with Braille on
bakery.
them.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
did we get that, Tammy? We got that somewhere.
I remember. I don't know, but they
I
had
don't
Braille on
remember
them.
where it was.
Somebody
It's
It
like
had-
The
Like a
This is
Braille.
one of the
Charlie's
Don't-
Chocolate Factory down here in Vancouver custom makes them though. You have to order
yeah.
them.
You'll have to make order a chocolate dog.
Oh, yeah.
Size?
A chocolate lab.
It could be
Chocolate
black.
lab would be perfect.
Black lab.
Choc-
Chocolate lab. That's so
Oh,
Yeah.
We're gonna keep the line open,
Well,
folks.
thank you, everybody.
Oh,
okay.
good
I'm
night,
gonna
Betty.
hit the road, and I'm gonna hit the road, everybody.
And
If you
hey,
don't
hey,
Same with me. Same with me.
Congratulations.
See you.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night, Debbie.
night.
Thanks
Okay.
for joining us.
Yes,
Night,
see
Kim.
you. Happy Easter, everybody.
Good night, Megan.
Night.